That brings me to my next point. Manager of the year, Keith. We touched on this a little bit before, right? But obviously David Gray of Hibs will be in there. I would put forward Stephen Robinson. I think 3 in a row, top 6, must be one of the smallest budgets in the division, and he keeps cranking out results. And I actually, kind of gave them a bit of stick for the celebrations at the weekend. But you pointed out, not only have they got top 6, they avoid potentially getting dragged into that relegation battle. And look, I genuinely think, all things considered, I think he's a very good shout for manager of the year.
Listen, he deserves an honourable mention, that's for sure. I mean, it's astounding that St Mirren have now done that 3 seasons in a trot. And, that speaks volumes for the job that Stephen Robinson is doing there. It's really impressive. They're punching way above their weight, and they're doing it regularly. It's not a freak occurrence. And it's a difficult place to go, isn't it? They're again a good side to watch because they're really high intensity. They get after people in their games. You know what I mean? They're never. They don't take a backward step. They engage. They're aggressive. They're front-footed, and they play some nice stuff. And they're dangerous. So I mean, an absolutely outstanding job. But I keep coming back to it, Daniel. I have said that I think fully expect Celtic to win the treble. And a season where you've got a guy, even though Celtic are making this look just like par for the course now, getting a treble, it's not. And any manager that wins a treble deserves to take away the plaudits and the personal recognition at the end of it. So Brendan Rodgers will be my choice for manager of the year, but that's not to say that Stephen Robinson, David Gray, even Jimmy Tillene has quite an impressive first season, but Jim Goodwin's had an exceptional season at Tannadice. So these guys have all done a terrific job, and they all deserve to be, congratulated for it. But I'm sorry, if Celtic win a treble, then the king takes the crown.
And you can see there's a couple of shouts for Goodwin from promotion to a possible third, which
it's been brilliant. They've been brilliant. And by the way, it's not as if they've come up and struck. I mean, I watched them in the first game of the season, and it was interesting to see. It was the Dundee derby. I was interested to watch it because I like the derbies. But I was really interested to see what Dundee United looked like, because there was United fans going into the start of this season didn't seem to me be 100% behind Jim Goodwin. But I watched that performance that day, and I thought I was really impressed by them, and they've continued to impress me all the way throughout the campaign. Again, they're well worthy of their place up at the top end.
It'll be interesting though, Keith, if and when they lose Sam Dalby, if they can,
replacing him's going to be
very hard,
a big ask. And you've seen, for example, Motherwell. Motherwell have had a couple of seasons lately when they've had a goal scorer. And what a difference that makes. And you've seen that Motherwell has struggled a little bit without an out-and-out goal scorer this season. I think that's contributed to the fact that they're looking at the bottom 6 rather than the top 6, because this season they've gone into it and they've not been able to replace the goals that they've lost. And yes, that's going to be a big ask for United. But I think they're well structured as a side. The tricky bit, and this is where Jim Goodwin's going to have to pull a rabbit out the hat, is as you said, replacing Dalby if that's what's going to have to be required.
Marzuno does point out surely winning the treble in second gear is quite an achievement, which, look, I would stand by my Stephen Robinson, but I do accept if you win every competition in the country.
I mean, that's just that. I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? That's the whole. And I know people will say, well, Celtic have got the biggest budget, but it's not. I mean, I remember a time when winning trebles was really quite a hard thing to do. For me, it's the ultimate. If you can dominate, if you're so dominant in your own domestic setup that you win all 3 trophies, I don't care that Celtic have made a habit of doing it lately. You take everyone on their own, in their own context. It's over the course of a campaign, however many months that is, for Celtic to come out on top in all 3 competitions, take 2 cups and win the league, and by the way, had an impressive campaign in the Champions League. Yeah, you know, yes, it's maybe not a fair fight when you compare what other managers are working with in terms of the budget, but you've got to acknowledge if somebody's winning everything, then they deserve the awards for it.